Great. Here.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our pre-departure webinar. So this is designed for our postgraduate students who are joining us this January 2024. So we're here today just to help prepare you for your arrival to Aberystwyth and try and make this experience as smooth as possible for you. So I'm just going to wait just a couple of minutes to let other people join the webinar today. We do have a lot of information for you, but our webinar will be recorded and sent out to you hopefully tomorrow by the end of the week, so you can have all that information on hand. So as you can see on the screen here, we have a lovely sunny picture of Aberystwyth. I can't promise it will be this sunny when you arrive in January, but fingers crossed. At the bottom of the image here, we have the main university campus. So that's where you'll be having your lectures, workshops and seminars. And then at the top of the image there, we have our lovely beach and the town of Aberystwyth. So that's where you'll find all you need in terms of food shops, clothes shops, lots of independent cafes and restaurants, and certainly a lot of places to visit around there. Okay, so we've had a few more people join. I think what you'll find mostly from this image is that it's a welcoming, small seaside town. There's lots to do within the university, and the town is also convenient to get to as well. It's around a 15 or 20-minute walk down the hill. So a very different vibe from a big city university where you may feel that you get a bit lost in the crowd. This is very much a university and student community. So if we get started, who we are. So my name is Vicky and I'm one of the regional officers here in the International Recruitment and Development Department. We're also joined by some key contacts within the university. So we have Rosa, who is our International Student Advisor, Anna, who is the Accommodation Manager, and then Vincenzo, who is the Director of Executive Master Programs at our Aberystwyth Business School. So we'll just go over a few details here. So I'll talk quickly about your CAS. Then Rose is going to discuss student visas and the registration and pre-enrollment process. Anna will talk about accommodation, and then we're going to talk a bit about getting here. So your travel to Aberystwyth, and then we do have a question and answer session at the end. Feel free to post any questions you have in the Q&A section. Like I said, we're also joined with Vince from the business school. So if you do have any MBA related questions, he will be able to give you a bit more information about that at the end of our presentation today. So firstly, we'll go over your CAS. So your CAS letter is a confirmation of acceptance for studies. Some of you may already have this, but it's what you need in order to apply for your visa. So before we can provide you with the CAS letter, please ensure that you have met all the conditions of your offer letter and also provide us with these listed items here. So scanned copies of your academic certificates or transcripts, a copy of your English language qualification, a copy of the photo page of your passport, evidence you have the required funding for your studies, and Rosa will talk about this a bit more in a few more slides, and then evidence you have paid your non-refundable tuition fee deposits. So it's your responsibility to ensure that you have provided us with all the relevant documentation. But if you do have any questions, or if you're not sure, if you're missing anything, please feel free to reach out to us. We're at international@aber.ac.uk, and we can check those details for you. So you'll be asked to upload all those documents to CASShield, and you should have received the login details for CASShield when you had your offer letter. But again, any confusions, any questions, please do reach out to us, as we are here to help. Okay, so I'll pass on to Rosa now, who'll talk a bit more about visas.
Thank you, Vicky. Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Rosa. I'm the International Student Advisor at Aberystwyth University. And what I'm hoping to do today is just make sure that you understand what type of visa you need to apply for, how to apply for the visa, and what supporting documents you need to start preparing. After we've gone through the visa information, we will also look at some information with regards to registration, and we will look at information on tuition fees. So there is quite a lot of information to go through. So without further ado, I think we will make a start. You will all need to apply for a student visa to allow you to register onto your courses. When your student visas are granted, they will be issued for the whole duration of your course. You will be allowed to work in the UK for 20 hours per week during term time and full-time during vacation periods. And you will be able to apply to the graduate route visa after you successfully complete your course. And we really hope that you take up this opportunity, because this is the post-study work route that was introduced by the Home Office 2 years ago, which allows international students to look for work or start a new job. It doesn't need sponsorship, so it's quite a flexible visa route. Towards the end of your courses, I will send you invitations to come to an advising session with me. There will be quite a few during the year, and you can come along to those advising sessions, and I will provide you with more information on the criteria for the graduate route visa and how to apply for it. I always have to remind international students that it's really important that you meet all of your visa responsibilities, because this is how you will be able to protect your immigration status and your visas in the UK. Thank you, Vicky. Can I have the next slide, please? We will now look at how to actually apply for your student visas. There are 3 main steps. The first one is you need to start preparing now all of your supporting documents. We will have a look at the list of supporting documents later on. Once you have all of your supporting documents, then you are ready to complete the online student visa application form. And we will send you the links and a copy of this presentation, so you will have these links available to you. You can follow a tutorial that we have prepared, and that tutorial will take you through the whole student visa application form. It will take you through all of the questions, and it will tell you how to answer those questions. Once you have completed and submitted the student visa application, you will be directed to book an appointment at a visa application centre. Students from the European Union, EA and Swiss students will not need to go to a visa application centre. You will use an app to verify your ID. But all other students, you will go along to your visa appointment and you will take all of your supporting documents, and this is where they will capture your biometric data. Basically, they will scan your fingerprints, they will scan your face, and I think they take an electronic signature as well. Some students will be asked to attend a credibility interview. Now, this is not something you should worry about. It's just the way the Home Office checks that your level of English is at the right level to be able to successfully engage with your courses. And the Home Office will also be checking that you are a genuine student, so that you are actually coming to study to Aberystwyth University. If you are asked to attend a credibility interview, please don't worry about it. but prepare. So on the visa support pages, there is a section on there which gives you some tips on how to prepare for your credibility interview. So if you do get called for an interview by the Home Office, make sure that you look at those pages and practice any questions that they may ask, and you can see examples of questions on our visa support web pages. Thank you, Vicky. The next slide, please. After you have applied for your student visa, you should receive a decision within 3 to 4 weeks from the date that you attend your visa appointment. If your visa application is successful, you will receive a 90-day entry visa on your passport. This is referred to as a visa vignette. It's a yellow sticker that goes inside your passport, and it's got a start date and an end date, and it gives you 90 days in which to enter the UK. You can only use it once. It's your permission to enter the UK. Once you have arrived to Aberystwyth, you will need to pick up a biometric residence permit, also known as a BR, and you pick this up from the main post office, which is about 10-15 minutes walk from campus. We will give you more information on this later on, nearer to the start of your courses, and also once you arrive here. If you did not need to attend a visa application centre for a visa appointment, so this is mainly EA, EU and Swiss students, you do not need a BRP, you will just have a digital visa. If your visa application is refused, which we really hope is not going to happen, then please contact me on immigrationadvice@aber.ac.uk, and also contact the compliance team so that we can give you advice on what steps you need to take. We always advise students not to book any travel until you have received your visa from the Home Office and the Home Office has returned all your documents. And the reason for this is that sometimes there are delays in issuing your visas. For example, if you are asked to attend an interview with the Home Office, that may cause a delay, and we don't want you to be in a position where you cannot travel on the date that you have booked and you have to buy another flight. So please be patient and wait until your visa has been granted and then book your flights. Thank you, Vicky. Great. So this is the list of supporting documents that you need to prepare. Vicky has already mentioned some of them, because a lot of these supporting documents you would have needed to have submitted to the admissions team as part of your admissions process. So in fact, you might already have a lot of these documents ready to go. But obviously the first document that you need is a passport. Make sure that your passport is not about to expire. You need the CAS letter, and as Vicky said before, you will get your CAS once you have met all the conditions of your offer, and the CAS will be issued by the admissions team. Some students, well, all students need to prepare financial evidence, but some students will need to send that as part of the admissions process. Now, all students need to make sure that you have a minimum of £9,207 plus the balance on your tuition fees. This money must have been held for a minimum of 28 days before you apply for your student visas. If you have dependents, and you may be aware that the Home Office has changed the rules on which students can bring dependents to the UK, You will also need to add £6,120 per person. So, like I said, you may be aware that it is only students that are coming to study on a research, for example, PhD course that are from January will be allowed to bring their dependents to the UK. If you're confused on whether you can bring your dependents to the UK, please feel free to contact me. You will also need copies of your academic qualifications. Now, as part of the admissions process and as part of meeting the conditions of your offer, I would expect that you would have had to send them to the admissions team already. Some students will need ATAS clearance, and you will know whether you need ATAS because it will be listed as one of the conditions of your offer. Depending on which country you are living in, you may need a tuberculosis certificate. And on this presentation, there is a link that you can use. It's a really simple link to use. It is basically a list of all the countries that need TB clearance. So you can go to the link, you can check whether the country that you are living in needs TB clearance. And you can also check the clinics that are approved by the Home Office who are allowed to issue TB certificates. So please do not go to any other clinic. It has to be a health clinic that's been approved by the Home Office. But the list of countries and list of health clinics is available from this link. You need to bring copies of all of your supporting documents because you will need them for the pre-enrolment check, and we will look at the pre-enrolment check later on. Thank you, Vicky. Financial evidence, we're just going to look at it a bit closer now, and the reason why we focus so much on financial evidence is that financial evidence is one of the main reasons why visa applications are refused. If a student does not submit the correct financial evidence, then the visa application will be refused, and that's what we're really trying to avoid for you. So students from low-risk countries, you do not need to submit financial evidence with your visa applications, but you need to prepare it in case the Home Office requests to see it. Students from non-low-risk countries, for example, India and Nigeria, you should only submit the financial evidence that has already been checked by the university. And please check that your bank statements are not over 31 days old on the date that you submit your visa applications. Now, the admissions process can sometimes take a long time. So it may be that you have submitted your financial evidence 2 months ago, and by the time you are actually ready to submit your student visa applications, those bank statements could be over 31 days old. So please check the date of your bank statements, and if they are over 31 days old, when you're ready to apply for your student visas, then you need to go back to the bank and get updated bank statements. Thank you, Vicky. Now, there are 2 fees that you will need to pay when you apply for a student visa. The first one is the immigration health surcharge, and the immigration health surcharge will give you access to NHS services, and all students who are applying for a student visa will need to pay this surcharge. At the moment, it's calculated at £470 per 12 months of a visa. Students that are coming for a course of 12 months or over will also receive 4 months of additional leave in the UK. So you will need to pay an immigration health surcharge for those additional months as well. So, for example, if you're coming to do a 3-year undergraduate degree scheme, your immigration health surcharge will be £1,645. For master's students that are coming for a 12-month master's, your immigration health surcharge will be £705. Now, the immigration health surcharge will be increased in the new year. We don't have an exact date, but we know that that it will be increased to £776, and the increase will come into force after the 16th of January. So that's just something for you to be aware of. In addition to the immigration health surcharge, you will need to pay a visa application fee, and that is £490 per person. Payments are made online as part of the visa application, and you will not be able to complete the visa application until you have paid your full immigration health surcharge and the visa application fee. Thank you, Vicky. So that was all the information about student visas, and now I really just want to very quickly have a look at registering onto your course, because I'm sure you really are excited about starting your studies. So this is hopefully some information which will help you. So induction week starts on the 22nd of January 2024, and teaching will start a week after that on the 29th of January of 2024. Remember, we are joined here today by Vince, who is in charge of all the MBA schemes. So if you've got any specific questions about your degree schemes, if you are coming to study an MBA, please put them in the chat function of this call and we will try and get through them. You need to be in Aberystwyth to complete registration. So you cannot start your studies, you cannot complete registration remotely. It has to be done in Aberystwyth. So we really need for you to travel to Aberystwyth as soon as possible. It is your responsibility to check that you will be able to arrive to Aberystwyth before the registration deadline. If at any point you feel that there may be a delay in you arriving to Aberystwyth, please contact us. You will have our email addresses on this presentation so that we can provide you with advice. You need to be aware that your visa sponsorship may be withdrawn if you're not able to arrive to Aberystwyth by our latest registration deadline. Thank you, Vicky. Before you are allowed to register onto your courses, you will go through a pre-enrollment check. Sometimes it's called a document check, and this is conducted by my colleagues in the compliance team. Now, the international team and myself, we work really closely with the compliance team. They're a really friendly team, and they are really responsible for your visa sponsorship. So they will be in touch before the start of your courses, and they will ask you to start uploading your visa documents. They will send you a link to start uploading your visa documents, which they will then check. You will need a copy of your 90-day entry visa or share code if you don't have an entry visa. You will need evidence of travel to the UK, for example, flight confirmation or boarding pass. You will need the copy of the decision letter or email that you received from the Home Office when they notified you that your student visa application had been successful. And once you pick up your biometric residence permit from the post office, they will need to see a copy of that as well. They will ask you to sign a declaration which basically saying that you will meet all of your visa responsibilities. Any problems with submitting any of these documents, please email the compliance team and they will be able to provide you with advice. Thank you, Vicky. So I've got 2 more slides to go through. We thought it would be useful for you to have a bit of an understanding on how to pay tuition fees and maybe some of the problems that you may encounter if there are any issues around the payment of your tuition fees. You should all be aware of how much your tuition fees will be, because it will be noted on your offer and on your CAS letters. The international deposit that you have paid will be deducted from your tuition fees. So it's only the balance that will be left for you to pay once you are here in Aberystwyth. Tuition fees must be paid in full at the start of the academic year, or you can choose to pay in up to 3 instalments by setting up a recurring card payment plan when you arrive. Now, that means that you will register a bank card with the finance office, and payment will be taken by Aberystwyth University on pre-arranged dates. So, for example, if you don't have the funds for when the payment is requested by Aberystwyth University, then you will have a debt to the university, and we will look at the issues that you may have if you do go into debt. Now, you should be aware that Aberystwyth University is a cashless campus, so you will not be able to pay your tuition fees using cash. So please do not travel with large amounts of cash. And also, when you are using our catering outlets, so for example, if you buy lunch, dinner, or if you go for a coffee at any of our cafes or canteens, you will need to pay with a bank card. Aberystwyth University does not accept cash. Further information on how to pay is available from the links on the presentation, and I would really advise you to have a look at the information on recurring card payments so that you are very clear on what a recurring card payment is. Thank you, Vicky. Finally, it's always good to be aware of any issues, any problems that you may encounter. So if, for example, you are not able to pay your tuition fees, you should be aware that this will affect your academic progression, because your Aberystwyth student account may be locked. If you have a debt, if you have not been able to pay your tuition fees, you may be unable to access your learning resources or submit assignments. You will not be able to use your email accounts, and you may have problems accessing your accommodation. So these are the things that I think it's really important for you to be aware of. So going back to what Vicky said at the start, we really want you to have a really good student experience before arriving and when you're here, so that you are able to progress through your course. So thank you so much for listening to that. That was a lot of information. I will hand over to my colleague Anna now, and I will come back in case you have any questions at all.
Thank you, Rosa. Hi everyone, as Rosa said, I'm Anna and I'm the Accommodation Manager in Aberystwyth University. Today I'll just give you a quick overview of the accommodation that you'll be entitled to as an inclusive January MBA student. The accommodation that you will be allocated will be in Cwtmawr, and that will be on the main Penglais campus, close to all academic buildings and facilities. The accommodation is single occupancy room only. We don't have accommodation for families within Aberystwyth University, unfortunately. So it is for single occupancy only. And I would do strongly advise that you don't travel to Aberystwyth until you've had your accommodation confirmed by us. And any queries, just give us a ring if you're unsure, if you have completed the process. Okay, Vicky. Okay, these are just a few pictures of the Cwtmawr accommodation. So it's a large kitchen and dining area and single occupancy bedrooms and shared bathroom facilities. Next slide. So the accommodation team will manually allocate you into the available rooms within Cwtmawr. And once the accommodation team sends you your allocated accommodation, you will need to log in onto the accommodation portal and complete the occupation contract process. And I'll just show you that now, if I can have the next slide. So if you've already got your Aber ID and student reference numbers, which I think some of you have, then you can just click on the Aber student login button down the bottom of the page here. You don't need to complete this area at all. The system will have your details and you can go straight in as an Aber student login. If you don't have an Aber ID or student reference number, then you'll go onto the register here button and then you'll create your own password. Next slide. So if you are going to bring electrical items, such as, laptops, etc., you will need to have them pat tested if they're older than 12 months. I would advise to have them pat tested before arrival. However, if you're unable to do this, then the residences team will put on a roadshow in all different areas of the residences around February time. So you'll be able to take your items there, but just make sure that, you are able to take your items to the roadshow, just in case you've got some large items to carry. And also don't forget your adapter if your electrical items have an international plug, as you won't be able to use them in the UK. Okay, so I'll hand back to Vicky for the rest of the webinar.
Well, thank you, Rosa and Anna, for all that information. And just a reminder to our applicants who are watching this at home, we will be sending out the recording so you can go through all that steps and have all that information to hand for you. So I'm going to talk quickly about travelling to Aberystwyth University and what to expect once you arrive here. So regarding arrival, you should have already received an email with information about our free airport pickup service. And that will go from Birmingham International Airport directly to Aberystwyth University on Friday, the 19th of January. So once you have your CAS and your visa and you've booked your flights, please then book onto this free airport pickup service if you are planning to arrive on the 19th. If you're not landing in Birmingham Airport, there is the option to land in one of the other major airports in the UK, such as London or Manchester, and then make your own way to Birmingham to meet us for that free airport pickup service. Alternatively, if you're arriving on another day, so not on the 19th, there are plenty of train and coach options to get you to Aberystwyth. And we are here to advise on the best option for you. So if you just send an email to the international email letting us know when you're planning to arrive, when you're planning to land in the UK, then we can let you know the best way for you to actually get to Aberystwyth. So collecting your university accommodation key. If you're staying with us on campus and using the free airport pickup service, we will give you your accommodation key on the bus, which will be just really easy. So we'll take you directly to your accommodation block, you'll have the key, and then you're ready to settle in, move into your new room. If you're traveling to Aber independently, so whether that be via a coach or train, then we do suggest that once you arrive in Aberystwyth, that you take a taxi from the town centre up to the university. And this usually costs between £6 to £10, and they do accept card and cash with the taxi services. So you'll head up to the university. If you're collecting during office hours, then you can go directly to the accommodation office. If you're collecting outside of office hours, then you can go to the main campus reception to collect your key, and that is open 24/7. Either way, please make sure that you let the accommodation office know when you're planning to arrive, so they can give you some further advice about where to actually go to collect your key. And also, please remember to ask the taxi driver to wait for you whilst you go into the accommodation office to get your key. We are located on a hill, so I wouldn't recommend trying to move all your luggage by yourself. And then some welcome activities we have here. So there's a range of activities we have on during the first week, and we really do try and encourage all students to arrive in time to attend these activities. So teaching starts on the 29th of January, but this week is a great opportunity to settle into your new surroundings and really prepare yourself for the start of your course. So on the 20th, Rosa is hosting an international welcome breakfast on campus, which is a great opportunity to meet with Rosa in person and ask any visa questions you may have, and also to meet with other international students and get to know some of the people that you'll be spending some time with. On Monday the 22nd, we have the business school welcome, where you get to meet directly with Vince and other members of the business school also, which would be really useful for you to attend. And then there are various other activities that we highly recommend that you get involved in. As like I said, they will certainly help you to prepare you for your studies and acclimatise yourself to Aberystwyth. And then the following week, we have our Refreshers Week. So we have a Freshers Week in September and then a Refreshers Week in January. So with the Refreshers Fair, it's a great way to learn about some of our student societies and clubs that we have here. So we have over 100 societies in Aberystwyth, some of which are academic based, some of them are based on hobbies. So there really is a wide range for you, a wide range of different ways for you to get involved and get to learn more about the university and the town as well. We also have some personalised events if you're interested in joining. So we have a mature students meet and greet, a PG specific student meet and greets, and then we have our BAME meet and greet on Thursday. So lots of different ways to get involved and start networking with your peers. And then finally, if you haven't already, I do suggest that you give us a follow on some of our social media platforms. It's just a great way to keep up to date with the university and to keep up to date with any important information as well. Okay, so thank you for listening today. We are going to move on to a Q&A session. So if you do have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat box there. We will get back to you. So this is another lovely image of Aberystwyth, again taken in the summertime. So I can't guarantee it's going to be as sunny and bright when you do arrive in January. But to be fair, it's actually been all right this week. Cold, but still nice and sunny. So I just recommend lots of layers, especially if you're not used to the cold weather here. So we've got a Constitution Hill at the back of the image there. A great little tourist trap, as well as the castle ruins that you can see on the left of the image. Something to note about Aberystwyth is that we are known as a tourist town within the UK. So it's just a nice little friendly place to come and visit, but certainly to spend the next year here. It's a good place to live, and it's very welcoming and lovely as well. I think that, oh, Hannah's asked a question. What is your favourite thing about living in Aberystwyth? That's a beautiful question. Great. My favourite thing is the beach. Vincenzo says the sunsets. Rosa and Anna, what are your favourite things about living in Aberystwyth?
I think for me, it's Rosa here, the Arts Centre. I love the Arts Centre, especially at this time of year as well. It's full of it's got the Christmas fair, lots going on, events, it's got a cinema. So yeah, lots going on in Aberystwyth.
to go on. The art centre is really lovely. I went to the little Christmas market there yesterday, and lots of local supplies as well, from food to crafts. So it's a good place just to have a nose around. And it's right next to the university campus as well. So really convenient access for our students here. Anna, do you know what your favourite thing is about Aberystwyth?
My favourite thing is just having the best of both worlds. You've got the sea and you've got the lovely woods that you can go in and have loads of lovely walks. So I've always thought that's quite special.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful place to live, and you do have the advantage of being in such a beautiful location of all this nature. If you are into the nature, I usually just stay inside with a nice hot chocolate, all snuggled up warm, but each to their own. Okay, I don't think we're getting any more questions coming at the moment, but we will be sharing our email addresses when we, and Vince has shared his email there. We'll be sharing everyone's emails when we send out the recording and the slides, either tomorrow or later on this week. But thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you for Vince, Rosa, Anna and Hannah as well for helping out. And yeah, I look forward to seeing everyone when you arrive in January. Okay, take care guys. Bye-bye.